even better mental health funding in the United States of America. You've got to work on, as we mentioned, the federal buyback law. There's a lot of approaches that you got to take, and even when you take all of them, are you going to reduce and say to the American public that you've stopped the epidemic of gun violence? No, you probably haven't, but you've at least taken every measure that you can in a responsible way to address this crisis. And the only thing that's stopping us from taking these measures that have generally 80 to 90% approval with the American public is the NRA. If you look at Donald Trump's, rhetoric on this, he used to call for banning assault weapons, and now he doesn't. And why is that? Because the NRA spent $30 million trying to get him elected and successfully getting elected as President of the United States, and now they call the shots.
Well, so Senator Sanders wants Mitch McConnell to call the Senate back in this session to pass a gun safety bill, but does the senator really think the votes are there to pass any meaningful legislation?
Last time I worked for Harry Reid, and we went through this process once before, and at one point we did have votes for a background checks measure, and what happened over the course of a few weeks after the Sandy Hook massacre was that the NRA worked its will and peeled off one member at a time. You might remember Joe Manchin and Patrick Toomey coming together to form a bipartisan compromise that would have taken some action, and then the NRA pulled off senators one at a time. So I think in these crises, usually the votes are there at the beginning, and then the votes slowly evaporate as the NRA works its will. So I believe, with each of these incidences, I would hope that the American public are increasing the pressure on their lawmakers, particularly Republican lawmakers, to finally do something.
And would a President Bernie Sanders be open to taking executive action on guns if it can't make it through the Senate?
100%, yeah. I mean, that's the way you saw in our statement yesterday on the Medium Post, that we're already thinking that way, that if you were president, what are the executive actions you would take? How could you strengthen the instant background checks laws? How could you do the research that would be needed to further look into other measures that the executive branch could do? There's been a lot of science that has been thwarted and prevented by the gun lobby that we aren't even allowed to undertake. So I think that there's a lot of measures that the administration could move on immediately, and we'd be looking to do that.
So Senator Sanders called the president a white nationalist, and others have stopped short of that label. Why does the senator believe it's appropriate to use that term?
Well, he said the president is a racist for a very, very long period of time. It doesn't give him any joy to say that, but when you look at the rhetoric that comes out of the president's mouth, the unwillingness to criticize white nationalists who spread hate, every time one of these moments erupts, he seems to have a different reaction to if that gunman was a Muslim or a black person or a person of color. How would he react to when it's a white person? He just doesn't demonstrate a level of compassion and care for people who, quite frankly, don't look like him or don't espouse his own ideology. And I think Bernie Sanders is calling it for what it is.
All right, Faz Shakir, the campaign manager for the Sanders campaign. Thank you so much, Faz, for your time.
Thank you.